In the short span of 1992 to 1996, developer Midway Games released 5 distinct titles in the Mortal Kombat franchise. In the same amount of time, only one game was released under the Legend of Zelda umbrella. A lone entry in the Metroid series saw the light of day. Mortal Kombat 3 was met with review scores lower than those of the previous installments, and by the time the compilation title, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, hit store shelves, Fatality was close to being replaced by another big and bad F word, fatigue. Ed Boon and company needed something huge to rattle the MK landscape, and they found it by traveling to another dimension.
The third dimension!
My first memory of Mortal Kombat 4 is both extremely blurry and quite vivid at the same time. I don't know why I was at an ice rink, as I've never skated, but there I was, at an ice rink. I was roaming the halls and looking for the pinball tables and arcade games that used to be standard in every bowling alley or roller rink when I spotted it. A game I'd never seen before, with some dude who looked like a bald version of Sting on the side of the cabinet. I curiously turned the corner and faced the monitor just in time to see some poor bastard get impaled on spikes after falling down a well. It was unmistakable. This was Mortal Kombat. The character select screen was overwhelming. There were the old faithfuls, debuting faces, and for the first time since 1993, a brand new final boss in the fallen elder god, Shinnok. I'll never forget my brother walking up behind me and saying, "Chinook? Like the fish? Who is Chinook?" The brand new 3D graphics blew me away. I was used to playing arcade games like Rampage and NBA Jam. I had never seen anything that looked as good as Mortal Kombat 4. The levels all had their own distinct feel and color palette. The characters had muscle definition, different shades, and the wrinkles of their outfits. I almost died of sensory overload when I saw Scorpion's new Toasty Fatality for the first time. Are you insane? That still looks good.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
For the first time in the series, beating the arcade mode with the character of your choice doesn't just lead to static images with text on the bottom of the screen. Instead, we're treated to sharp-looking cutscenes full of 3D violence, character development, and in-depth looks at the levels we don't get during gameplay. The cutscenes also feature some of the worst voice acting in video game history, and just as a small taste of that, here's a little chunk of Jax's ending video.
Going somewhere, Jarek? Jax! I thought you were going to...
Thought I was what? Dead? Like my partner you just tossed off the cliff?
I'm sorry, Jax. Please, don't drop me. Wait, I promise.
Too late, Jarek.
You can't drop me. You have to uphold the law. You have to arrest me. Wait, this is brutality. You can't do it.
Wrong, Jarek. This is not a brutality. This is a fatality.
That is awful. Everybody knows how bad the voice acting is in the original Resident Evil.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous. There must be a back door somewhere.
And I'd actually say that Mega Man 8 is a little worse than Resident Evil.
We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wily.
But Mortal Kombat 4 is right there with them. It's not quite House of the Dead 2 level of bullshit, but it's real close.
Goldman! Do you know what you're doing?
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. Can't you see?
Fatalities and friendships are noticeably absent from MK4, and this was done on purpose, as series creator Ed Boon stated that he wanted to ditch the silliness of its predecessors. Mortal Kombat was always known for its violent fatalities, but MK4 introduces a new grapple move called Bone Breakers that I personally find harder to watch than some of the finishing moves. In the middle of a fight, a single button press allows you to break your opponent's neck like Steven Seagal, hyperextend their knee with a brutal stomp, or deliver an uppercut to the elbow, popping it right out of the socket. This was a turning point in the series where it was decided that no injury is enough to inconvenience a fighter for more than a second and a half, even if they're dealing with a probable compound fracture. Just whip that bone right back into shape and you're good to go, right? Evolution didn't occur only on the graphical side of things, but in the story as well. Shao Kahn is beaten and gone. Shinnok has escaped from the Netherrealm as the new dickhead in charge of a whole new team of bad guys. And some of our beloved tried and true favorites have completely new looks. Goro has returned, and Reptile is nearly unrecognizable, having completely shed his human disguise. He's slowly reverting back to his true Zaterran form, but more on that later. Weapon combat led the charge for Mortal Kombat 4's marketing campaign. One of the posters read, "Hand-to-hand combat was only the beginning." The game's entire opening cinematic talks only about weapon combat.
The crushing pound of the mallet. The shattering blow of the club. The slashing edge of the blade. They call to you.
Pulling out your fighter's sword, axe, mace, boomerang, or whatever the hell else you might have is simple. Just punch in a button combination no more difficult than throwing Scorpion's spear or Sub-Zero's ice blast. Weapons do great damage, but honestly, they're pretty hard to use. You might call that a plus on the balancing side of things, as you don't want weapons to give you an unfair advantage, but more often than not, you won't be able to land more than a hit or two before your opponent knocks the weapon away. One single punch or kick will send it flying through the air. And if you drop it, they can use it, so be careful. Weapons aren't the only hazard on the stage though. Severed heads and giant rocks cause way more damage than the average attack, so make sure you use them to your full advantage. Speaking of using something to its full advantage, they finally got it right. Remember when I complained about Shiva turning into a scorpion for her animality in Mortal Kombat 3? And why does Shiva turn into a scorpion rather than fucking Scorpion turning into a scorpion? Well, they got it right this time. And it looks fucking awesome.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
And while we're at it, let's appreciate the 3D evolution of Liu Kang's Dragon Fatality as well.
Fatality.
Ouch. Every MK game has something silly about it. MK4 may have removed babalities and friendships, but that's not to say nothing in the game is funny. Listen closely to certain characters and see if you can hear the weird shit that comes out of their mouths, like, "Oh, I'm gonna throw you over there!"
Oh, I'm gonna throw you over there! Oh, God!
I imagine the developers giggling like little kids as they slipped these in, knowing that they were gonna throw players for a loop. What Mortal Kombat 4 adds on the graphical side of things is substantial, but what it lacks in other areas is just as noteworthy. Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 were all down and dirty fighting games, sure, but it was the mysteries in each of those games that kept you coming back even after you'd beaten the arcade ladder with every character. In MK1, the shapes pass by the moon, Reptile appears and delivers cryptic messages. MK2 has Smoke and Jade peeking from behind the trees in the living forest, and unplayable characters in the backgrounds of certain stages. MK3 has the smoke block and Cyrax stuck in the sand. What's he doing out there? Mortal Kombat 4, on the other hand, has nothing, really. The feeling of undiscovered secrets around every corner is completely missing, and it sucks. Sure, there are hidden fighters like Noob Saibot and Meat, and you can switch your costume with a button press of the character select screen, but the environmental clues are what's missing. Mortal Kombat and Mystery are synonymous with each other, and having one without the other here just doesn't feel right. 2 years after the release of Mortal Kombat 4, the game popped up on Sega Dreamcast, this time known as Mortal Kombat Gold. Classic characters like Baraka, Kung Lao, Cyrax, Sector, Melina, and Katana were added to the game, accompanied by brand new cutscenes, but it wasn't enough to win over the hearts and minds of players and critics around the world, the majority of which condemned the game, saying it felt slow, dated, and lacked any real depth. Mortal Kombat 4 nowadays is seen as the worst mainline game in the series. I personally don't agree with that, and we're not talking about the spin-offs like Mythologies or Special Forces, though we are going to cover those soon, but it seemed like Midway had started to feel the fatigue as well. After pumping out 7 games between 1992 and 1996, the team finally took a breather. It would be 5 years before we saw another mainline release in the Mortal Kombat franchise. 1999 saw an image of the number 5 posted on Ed Boon's website with Scorpion's face inside of it, teasing fans around the world with a looming sequel announcement. The fifth main entry in the Mortal Kombat series was supposed to hit arcades in 2000, though it never did, officially marking the end of the arcade era. Initially titled Mortal Kombat 5 Vengeance, the game would miss the projected 2000 mark by more than 2 years before finally being unveiled with a teaser trailer. The trailer showed off a gigantic graphical leap from Mortal Kombat 4, which was expected, seeing as though this was the first Mortal Kombat game on the next generation of consoles. MK hype was at an all-time high when the game released later that year. My buddy Bathroom Money Tim Ewers and I could not wait to sink our teeth into the newest chapter of Mortal Kombat. And the shock that we were left with after watching the opening cinematic the first time sticks with me to this day. See, there are things you come to expect with a franchise you love. Mario will always save the princess. Michael Myers will always go on a rampage and then seemingly die at the end of each Halloween movie. And Liu Kang will always lead the heroes of Earthrealm to victory in Mortal Kombat. In Deadly Alliance, Liu Kang and company are up against two foes they'd previously defeated, in Shang Tsung and Quan Chi. The two sorcerers launch a sneak attack on Liu while he's training, and even though he puts up a fight, their combined strength is a huge obstacle. Just when Shang Tsung has our champion right where he wants him, we know what's coming, it's so predictable. Who is coming to save the day, huh?
Liu Kang is dead.
What the fuck just happened?
Our entire world came crashing down around us. We're sitting there, 2, 11, 12-year-old kids, can't wait to play our new game, and the main hero gets fucking killed right in front of us before we even start playing. We were crushed. We were blown away from the get-go. But hey, that's what the team at Midway wanted. We've spoken previously about franchise fatigue, and what better way to signify the rebirth of a property than to take the established star and say, fuck him, he's dead. Deadly Alliance features 3D gameplay that feels so much more natural compared to that of MK4, but it also introduces fighting styles. Each warrior has 3 distinct styles that can be cycled through by simply tapping the L1 button. Weapon combat returns as well, though this time it comes in the shape of your character's 3rd fighting style. Each style has its own simple and combination attacks, and using L1 as a transition in the middle of a combo can link attacks from all 3 of your styles into one devastating flurry. Side note, certain weapons feature a special impale attack that allows you to embed your weapon into your opponent's body, causing bleeding damage throughout the entire battle. How fucking cool is that? What I'm about to say is more opinion than fact, and feel free to disagree with me, let me know in the comments below, but I have to think that Deadly Alliance has some of the worst fatalities in the entire series. Sure, there are cool fatalities in the game, no doubt. Scorpion finally incorporating his spear into a finishing move is great.
Scorpion wins. Fatality.
And Sub-Zero upping the ante and going fully literal on his classic spine rip is dope as hell. But what the fuck is with Quan Chi's neck-stretching fatality? Are you kidding me? He fucking ripped your leg off and beat you to death with it in MK4, and now he's turning people into broke-ass human giraffes? How about Li Mei? She kicks you really hard, and then she kicks you really hard again. Super creative, guys. Not only are the fatalities by and large the most disappointing in the series yet, but every character now only has 1 fatality to their name. I know what you're thinking. What about stage fatalities? Well, what about stage fatalities? None of the characters have them, because for the first time since the beginning of MK, there are no stage fatalities. What Deadly Alliance lacks on the fatality front, it attempts to make up for in the minigames department. For the first time since MK1, Test Your Might is back. Trying to smash the diamond will still give you blisters. And following the MK logo in the new Test Your Sight minigame will make you dizzier than shit being spun on a ceiling fan. Coming out victorious in battle or in these minigames earns you coins that can be spent in the brand new Crypt, which houses the game's unlockable content. The crypt contains exactly 676 coffins in a 26x26 AA to ZZ format. Each coffin costs a certain amount of coins to open, and once open, there's no going back, so choosing wisely is of peak importance. Coffins contain anything from cool concept art to alternate costumes to unlockable characters. There are several different types of currency in the game, which can make earning the required amount to open certain coffins quite tedious, but I understand the idea. It extends the time you're going to spend with the game. And hey, you do not want to miss some of the shit housed in these coffins. UI contains Cooking with Scorpion, a comedy video my friends and I would watch at each and every sleepover.
Chopping, cake decorating, and chopping.
And you know what's in Coffin FU? Fuck you, that's what. Konquest mode is another brand new feature that debuts in Deadly Alliance. It's a bare bones version of what the mode will become in later installments, and it doesn't come close to feeling like a fleshed out and complete idea. Learn mastery of each and every warrior and uncover secrets of their past. That sounds pretty kick-ass, right? Well, it's not. Konquest mode is really just an extended tutorial mode with text-based story details in between loading screen after loading screen. It's not a bad way to earn coins for the crypt, and it is cool to get some detail on our favorite fighters' ongoing storylines, but this just doesn't quite hit the mark. I'm not saying it's a waste of time, but it's far from a highlight in the series. As usual, we've got a good mix of old and new faces on the roster. Debuting this time around are Frost, Draman, Moloch, Kenshi, and Boraicho, among others, and we've got secret fighters in the shape of Mocap and Blaze. Remember Blaze from Mortal Kombat 2? Here we are, 9 years later, and the rumor has come to life. Just wait until Armageddon when we see the real Blaze. Not every new character was a home run though, as some are quite forgettable. Su Hao debuts as another Kano-ish clone like Jarek before him, though he is a member of the Red Dragon, which is a feuding faction to Kano's Black Dragon. Li Mei is an outworld rebel who is just kind of there. See what I mean? What sucks is that these characters made the final roster, while several other debuting fighters were left on the cutting room floor. Baphomet was meant to be the first Elder Demon, and was based on an actual centuries-old satanic legend. Tiamat was a lizard-based fighter who we don't have much background on. All we know for sure is that when he was scrapped, many of his characteristics were transferred to Reptile, who continues to visually devolve into his true Zaterran form. Other cut characters can be researched online, each accompanied by less and less information about what they were supposed to be. It's possible that several of them didn't make it past a concept sketch, but it's fun to wonder what could have been. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance released 2 great reviews, great sales, but most importantly, above all, it breathed desperately needed new life into the franchise. The rebirth of MK had been achieved, and it opened up a whole new world of possibilities regarding where the series could go next. The May 2003 issue of PlayStation Magazine revealed the first word on Mortal Kombat 6, the game that would eventually become Mortal Kombat Deception. Deadly Alliance set the bar for what a cinematic should look like in a Mortal Kombat game, and Deception picks up that torch and runs with it. It does not disappoint. Right off the bat with Deception, we take a double punch to the stomach as we learn the fate of Earth's warriors is one of tragedy. Raiden is Earthrealm's last hope, and though he fights as hard as he can, the deadly alliance of Shang Tsung and Quan Chi are too much to handle.
Even for a thunder god.
Within seconds of accomplishing their goal of resurrecting the Dragon King's unstoppable army, the Deadly Alliance implode, and Quan Chi dispatches his former ally in seconds.
She defeated Shang Tsung and reveled in his conquest.
Time for celebration is cut short as Onaga, the Dragon King, has returned to regain control of his long-lost army. A new alliance is formed as Quan Chi, Shang Tsung, and Raiden all join forces in an attempt to stop Onaga before it's too late. Seeing the 3 of them team up is shocking in its own right, but watching Onaga walk through their combined strength like it's a gentle breeze is enough to chill the spine of anybody who has ever picked up a controller. This motherfucker is nasty. Raiden, in a desperate attempt to stop Onaga, conjures up a blast powerful enough to wipe out everything within the surrounding area. The explosion kills him, Shang Tsung, Quan Chi, and countless undead soldiers, but barely leaves a scratch on the Dragon King. This not only sets up Onaga as the biggest and baddest final boss in Mortal Kombat history up to this point, but it sets up the game's all-new Conquest mode. See, this is what Conquest mode should have been in Deadly Alliance. We're not talking about a player-by-player practice mode with a little bit of story text here and there. No way. Deception's Conquest mode is a full-on RPG with several different worlds to explore. We play as the debuting Shujinko, and we're tasked by a being named Damashi with traveling from realm to realm, searching for the 6 pieces of the Kamidogu. Who the hell is Damashi and what the hell is the Kamidogu? Well, spoiler alert, Dandans. Damashi is actually Onaga, and the Kamidogu are his ticket out of exile and into the game's opening cinematic. There are some damn cool things to find in Deception's Conquest mode. Fighters from previous games who aren't playable in Deception are all over the place. Seeing fighters like Motaro, Kintaro, and the like pop out of thin air offering side quests or coin prizes is a nostalgic surprise each and every time.
Here, take this.
Opening chests to unlock new costumes and characters feels great. And speaking to the townspeople to gather information is... oh, well, that's another story. We spoke earlier about the horrible voice acting in Mortal Kombat 4. MK4 has nothing on Deception. Deception has some of the worst, absolute worst human shit voice acting you will ever hear in a video game.
Master Boraicho asked me to show you the other schools where he teaches martial arts. Follow me. You should go inside. I will wait for you out here. Good, you are finished. Come on, let's go to the next class.
Master Boraicho's house lies to the northeast. I should head in that direction.
I have never ventured to other realms, though I have always wanted to.
Please, you must help me. I have lost the ring I was planning to give to my beloved. I am fairly sure that I had last had it somewhere along this riverbank. I would be grateful if you were to aid me in my search.
There's absolutely no way that most of those people are voice actors. It was probably crunch time, they were probably gonna hit a deadline, and they just shouted down the fucking hallway, "Hey, we need you!" And the janitor opened his door and ran in the office and recorded the lines. I don't know how they released this game with those performances in Conquest mode. It's horrible. I'm being harsh here, but this bullshit needs to be called out. I didn't remember at all how bad this voice acting was, and holy shit was I taken aback when I popped in the game and started playing to do research for this episode. Still though, I won't let bad vocal performances overshadow what Conquest mode is, and that's a fun little RPG set in the Mortal Kombat universe, which is really cool. It hasn't aged well at all, but if you've never tried it out, look up some videos online. You're in for some cool shit. If RPGs aren't your cup of tea, don't worry. Deception is overflowing with new game modes, the first of which is puzzle combat. Imagine playing Tetris, but at the bottom of the screen are 2 of your favorite MK warriors duking it out. Every time you eliminate a block or a line, your super meter fills up. Supers give you an advantage, whether it's making your board a little less stressful, or adding a pinch of difficulty to your opponent's board. Winning 2 rounds leads to a fatality, and watching chibi Mortal Kombat characters get killed is equal parts satisfying and humorous.
Fatality.
The other brand new game mode is chess combat. If you're thinking, what is it, chess but with Mortal Kombat characters? Then yeah, you're spot on. It's a cool idea, but I can't say I ever spent much actual time here. Online combat made its debut with Mortal Kombat Deception, but the servers are long since dead, so I can't really show it to you. And when I was 13 years old when this game came out, I could not even fathom hooking my PlayStation 2 up to the phone line, so obviously I never even tried it. But I bet it was good. Though it's smaller in size by around 200 coffins, the crypt does indeed return in Deception. Coffins are easier to purchase this time around thanks to Conquest mode being a great way to earn coins. Deadly Alliance disappointed in the Fatality department, but I am happy to report that Deception does its best to return to form. We've once again got 2 Fatalities per character, and for the first and only time, a Harakiri move, aka Fatality. Suicide. Getting beaten by one of your buddies sucks. Getting murdered by them is even worse. If you can enter your Harakiri code before they can input their Fatality code, you can steal some of their thunder and take your demise into your own hands. What a nice little feature.
Darius wins. Harakiri.
They're not all great, and I think it's still pretty clear that there's a bit of a creativity issue when you count how many of these finishing moves have to do with different forms of decapitation. But it's a step in the right direction. This is not counting Sindel's impression of Brock Lesnar.
What the hell supposed to do it, Cole? Oh my God! Harakiri.
Or Bo Raicho's impression of a TLC show, where he literally just gets so fat that he dies. Ed Boon stated before the game's release that he wanted Deception to feel unpredictable. Instant death stage hazards were created to keep every fight within the player's grasp, even if they're being dominated. The falling cliffs level crumbles at the perimeter, sending any combatants near the edge plummeting to their gruesome death below. The Sky Temple is a multi-tiered arena. The first trap sends your opponent crashing down to another level, but after that, it's lights out. The traps in Deception are truly gruesome, whether you're being sent flying through a spiked grinding tower, crushed by a gigantic foundry press, eaten alive by piranhas, or knocked into the new 3D version of the pit. A simple power attack can trigger these traps at any time, so being mindful of your surroundings is an absolute must. Side note, it always extra freaked me out that the falling cliff spike goes right through your opponent's asshole and out their dick.
Nightwolf wins. Flawless victory.
Naturally, every combatant's story progresses through Deception. The new faces on the roster are largely forgettable, as half of them merely add characters to the Red Dragon vs. Black Dragon faction war that I've never given half a shit about. But there are a few key revelations here. After appearing for the first time in Mortal Kombat 2 and being shrouded in mystery ever since, Deception finally reveals the identity of Noob Saibot. The Shadow Wraith's true identity is that of Bi-Han, the original Sub-Zero. His soul was tormented after his wrongful death at the hands of Scorpion. The reveal of his identity was 11 years in the making, and his arcade mode ending not only exposes the secret, but shows him killing his own brother. What an excellent payoff to a long-running mystery. And don't worry, him killing his younger brother is not canon. Sub-Zero comes back next time. Mortal Kombat Deception released to rave reviews and even stronger sales than Deadly Alliance before it, signifying that Mortal Kombat was stronger than ever. The 3D era breathed new life into the series, and the added features and extra game modes of Deception did not disappoint. Speaking of disappointment though, check this out. The French version of the game is called Mortal Kombat Mystification, as the word deception roughly translates to disappointment over there. Probably for the best that they changed it. I don't think anybody would want to play a game called Mortal Kombat Disappointment. That's like buying a game called Street Fighter, or Tekken, kinda shitty. That is going to do it, Dan Dans. Thank you for joining me for this, the history of Mortal Kombat Part 2, Fatality in the Third Dimension. Next time out, we're going to wrap up the original Mortal Kombat timeline and step into another universe. And you definitely don't want to miss that, so click that subscribe button, keep up with everything we're doing over here at 616 Entertainment. And if you need some entertainment in between there, check out my 2017 documentary, The History of SmackDown. You can watch the full movie in one go. I love you, I appreciate you, and I will see you next time.